You guys already know that I love hunting for deals, and when I saw this at a Goodwill, well, I just had to check it out. I've never had an Apple TV before, but yeah, the unboxing's pretty interesting. First thing, you got the terrible remote. We'll talk more about that later. And then lift that cardboard thing up, and there's the Apple TV itself, and the dusty power cable. And whoever donated this didn't even use the Apple stickers. They're still in the box. Checking out the I/O, there's the power connector, HDMI, optical, Ethernet, and mini USB. That's weird. Connecting it to a non-ideal display, it actually does work. For some reason, it was off-center on this monitor. It's not a problem with the Apple TV, and pressing auto-adjust does nothing. I really have no clue why that monitor does that, but, I mean, it kind of does that with non-computer devices. Anyway, I'll set this up now.
One day later.
So I've been using this Apple TV for about a day or two now, and it actually is great. First off, it doesn't even look any different than a modern-day Apple TV. And unfortunately, there are no apps, so really the only way you can use this device is with an iPhone or an iPad. Yeah, AirPlay is your only option because all the apps that run directly on the Apple TV have been long since discontinued. Because, yeah, this thing is from 2010. Your only option is AirPlay. And it's a pretty good experience if you're just wanting to cast media from your iPhone to your TV. It even looks great, too, with full screen cover art. The now playing screen is a bit dated, but, I mean, I like it. It's not terrible. The only real apps that work are Apple's own apps. And even then, they don't really work all that well. You can still stream movies and TV shows that you buy on the Apple TV, and they do look pretty good. They stream in HD if they're available in HD, but there's actually a genuine problem I have with this thing. How are you gonna buy content on an Apple TV if you can't sign into your iCloud account? You can't do it. I have an iCloud account, and it works on my iPhone, but every time I try to sign in, it shows this. What do you mean iCloud isn't set up for this Apple ID? It is! The next thing I hate is this terrible, terrible remote. Now, it does look nice until you try to hold it. It's just Sharp Edge City, and it's terrible. As humans, we like a big, thick remote to wrap our hands around, and this is terrible. Like, Apple, seriously, like, they have never made a good Apple TV remote until the third generation Siri remote. And even then, it's a Siri remote. Siri's dumber than a bag of hammers. I'm on board with that opinion. And it's just not very comfortable to hold. I have big hands, and holding this little tiny remote, well, I could stretch my fingers across two of these things. It's extremely sturdy, it doesn't bend or flex, but seriously, 7 buttons. 7 buttons. I want a big, ugly, fat remote that I can wrap my hands around with 110 buttons, and I can just control everything from it. I mean, here, look, it's powered by a coin cell battery. You have to go out of your way, Apple, to design a remote. It has to run off of a battery that's meant for watches. Here it is to Apple's thinnest product, well, second thinnest now, the 7th gen iPod Nano. It is extremely thin, and I feel like if you weren't careful, you would lose this in your couch or bed or anywhere, really, immediately if you didn't always have your eye on it. This is really not a convenient remote to use, and it is really uncomfortable, too. I was just trying to film a B-roll shot of me losing the remote in the couch, and I actually lost the remote in the couch. I found it. It fell behind the couch. Ugh. Oh my god, dude.